What's going on YouTube? This is Pikachu OTC from Simple Trade and welcome to another weekly review. Before we get started, let's give a huge shout out to our Discord channel because this last week was absolutely a banger. We had so many good calls and we made so much money, so click the like button for our community, and if you're not in yet, I'll post the link down in the description below. Now let's talk about some runners from the last week. And if you recall from Troglodytes' previous review on CCAJ, he told us that we might see similar moves from stocks with a stop sign that goes yield or pink, and boy was he right. Now obviously there were a lot of runners last week, but I narrowed this review to 5. So the first one is AAPT. Now there is not so much to expand here because we already reviewed this stock multiple times, but the changes that occurred after the previous weekly review are that the stock got its yield sign right here on September 14th, and you can see that much more volume came in compared to the previous 5 days. And 3 days later, on September 17th, the stock got its pink current stamp, and that means that more brokers can trade this stock, and the stock got to a new all-time high of 0.237, and we got an overall a 300% run with 10 out of 11 green candle days. It is absolutely ridiculous. And now we are basically waiting for the merger announcement or the merger candidates for this company. Now let's move on to the second stock of this review, and you already know this stock because we talked about it so many times, and this is EEGI. And that stock was also alerted multiple times in our Discord channel, and ever since it was alerted, the stock only went up. You can see it right here. This is the day that the stock was alerted, around the price of 0008, and it is already at the 0022, and here are the reasons for it. This is the official Twitter page of EEGI, and as you can see here on September 8th, they tweeted that it is taking longer than expected with the OTC, but they are working with them to get everything updated, and they are apologizing for the delay, but they are on it. Now the reason they tweeted that is because they needed to file an amendment filings. I guess something in their filings was not in the criteria of the OTC markets, and they needed to fix that. So they are saying to the shareholders that they are on it, they know what they need to fix, and they are working to get everything updated. Now 1 week later, they gave another tweet, EEGI heads up, we needed to fix a few documents. There will be a lot of activity over the next 24 hours, which should complete all documents needed to be current. OTC told us today, as long as we upload them, that even if a change is needed, we won't risk the list. So overall, very good updates. They are saying that they are on things, that they will file the amendments, that they will file everything, and that they will not be at a risk of delisting, which is very good news. And ever since the first tweet, the stock is going up almost on a daily basis. And as they promised, they filed the amendments, they filed attorney letters, they filed annual reports, they filed everything once again. And I expect this stock to be yield somewhere around next week, and once this stock will be yield, we will see much more volume than you can see right here. Now just like most of the stop sign stocks, this stock as well crashed down all the way back to the trips because they did not change their status to yield, and the risk is getting higher. But after those two updates, it is safe to assume that they won't be delisted, and therefore the rise of price. Moving on to the next stock of this review is the stock TONR, and as you can see here, these 4 last days were amazing. We had a 400% run on a liquid stock, and you already know what liquid means, so you know that 400% is absolutely nuts. And this stock was also alerted on our Discord channel back in August at these prices of the 0004 by Brian. And just like most stocks, it went down to the trips because it was not a yield sign. It was a stop sign with no filing, so people were afraid that this stock will get delisted, and they rather not take the risk, so they sold their shares. Now on September 13th, the company filed the quarterly reports, and the annual reports needed to be filed to drop the stop sign, and That's why it gapped up to 0006, and on the same day of September 14th they filed these filings once again. I guess they had some amendments to do, but the interesting thing is that only 2 days later, after they filed their filings, they dropped the stop sign. So they did it so fast, and the stock gapped once again and once again after that, and went all the way up to 0021. Now here is one more interesting thing that we can see about the stock. If we go to the filing, to the last quarterly reports, we can see that the company plans to acquire an operating company via reverse merger in the fourth quarter of 2021. The operating company and terms of a transaction have not yet been determined. So there is a very high expectation towards the fourth quarter of 2021 as they plan to make a reverse merger. And lastly, about this stock, they filed an AS reduction from 4 billion to 3.2 billion, which is very good news in the OTC. So if you combine everything together, a stock at the low trips that dropped its stop sign with a decent share structure, with an AS reduction, with a reverse merger plans in the near future, very near future, you get a 400% on a liquid stock. Now obviously the story is not over with this stock, so keep an eye out for TONR in the fourth quarter of 2021. Now I know some of you don't have the platform to trade stop sign at the OTC, so I added here the alert from the Molly stocks on our Discord channel. The second that the stock was yield, he bought the stock at the price of 0012 and he got an 80 to 90% gains. Let's move on to the fourth stock of this review, and that stock is ICOA, and we already talked about this stock in so many weekly reviews. We've been pounding the table on this stock ever since July 21st, where the first change was made. We already saw the potential, and as you can see, the stock is at the penny mark with 1900%. Absolutely remarkable on a liquid stock. Now the reason for these three red candles right here are because the stock was still a stop sign, so some people panicked and sold their shares. And if you were on our Discord channel and had a platform to trade stop sign stocks, you could have seen our alerts that we ate that dip and we added as much as we can because we saw the potential about this stock. And as you can see on the screen, we've been pounding the table and been adding every dip we could, because the potential here is much higher. And right now you can see that we were right, and the stock is at the all-time high at the penny, and the story is not over yet. And right now we'll go through every update that occurred over the past week. So the first update from the company Twitter account is that ICOA opinion will be uploaded later today. Reach yield sign expecting to be current soon. Thank you all. So on September 14th, they reached the yield sign and dropped the stop sign, so most brokers could trade that stock. 1 day later, they added here, attorney letter with respect to current information has been posted. Next, pink current, debt cancellation. Stay tuned for more updates. And they added their previous animation. Now scrolling up a little bit, we can see that OTC pink in process by the OTC markets, working on debt cancellation. Stay tuned. And they added to their animation the V sign that they already done, the financial, the attorney letter, and now they're waiting for the pink current and right after the debt cancellation. And 1 day later, 30 minutes before the market closed, you can see another huge tweet from the company about the company's new direction, that they're in advanced discussions with acquisition candidates with an S, so this is plural, minimum 2 acquisitions, and they are in the blockchain and crypto space. So very good news, considering the fact that Kim Soo was the one who brought MJWL all the way to 20 cents plus with a blockchain crypto acquisition. You can expect a lot from her as well on this company. And 1 day later, 10 minutes before the close, they tweeted this huge tweet saying, going pink current next week, and we are already working on canceling billions shares. Can you fill in the blank? So there are billions of shares that are going to be canceled. We don't know how much yet, but billions is a very good sign. So let's all click the like button for ICOA Incorporation Twitter account, because they are clearly handling their Twitter page well and they know how to get the job done. And all of these tweets, all of these updates got the stock price to go to a penny. Now, what are we looking forward next? We are waiting for the pink current sign. After the pink, we will be waiting to know how many billion shares are going to be cancelled. And after that, we will probably hear the acquisition or merger announcement and the OTC QB uplist. So there is much more for this company to give in the near future. And if you want to know where is the best deep buy opportunity on this stock, make sure to join our Discord community, because you can bet that we will alert it the second it will get there. Now let's move on to the final stock of this review, and that stock is WLAN. And just like we talked about the last weekly review, the stock did get a lot of volume, around 160 million volume, the second they got the yield sign and dropped the stop sign, and it went to a new all-time high of 0062 with 330% run in just a couple of days. Very nice run. And that was it about this weekly review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Obviously, there are much more stocks to review, but I don't have the time to review them all. So stay tuned, join our Discord community, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the future videos. We got a ton of content coming up soon. We got so many bangers, so many runners that we're going to review. So stay tuned and have a green and profitable week.